Welcome back, boys and girls. Last episode, we went over the exciting world of map reading, extraction, navigation, and consistency of pathing. We here on the channel do, of course, enjoy our high-speed, low-drag content, which is why today we'll be covering the most adrenaline-pumping and tear-inducing minigame that Tarkov can provide. That's right, stash management. Inventory. It's basically stash, but really, this is important. We're covering not just the stash, but also how inventory management impacts your gameplay while in the raid. Know that both on and off it's equally important, but we're going to be covering a little bit of both. Know that both on and off is equally important, but we're going to be focusing mostly on how you manage it here out of the raid. Now let's start at the beginning with the stash. As an example, have a look at my... Oh, wow. This is, yeah, 1 second. That's better. Alright, I've had my fun. Let's get real. Capitalism. Or more importantly, the dream of capitalism. Gaining, going up, starting from the bottom and never ceasing the climb. Where the lowliest rat can ascend to the divine standing of a skaven. The meekest Todd can become the thickest of Chads. But where, you might ask, does it all begin? Quite simply, the heart of every Tarkov player beats with a single fuel. The tears of every money. It's money. Rubles specifically. You can't conduct raids without the proper funding, and you can't have proper funding if you can't keep your house clean and organize yourself properly. First, we learn controls. First, the uncultured method. You can click and drag from one container to another. You can practice this in your inventory. Once that's done, use your hand and press the left control key. While simultaneously pressing this key, left-click on a container that is not yourself, and witness your sleight of hand as it magically disappears, only to reappear somewhere on you. There is a logic behind this. Anytime you grab this way, it will go into your backpack, unless it's a magazine or a grenade. These will usually try to go to your rig first before going to the backpack, and other items are the inverse of this. That means opposite. That means the opposite of... We try to educate here. During your raids, you will find no end of bits and knobs here and there. Identifying worthwhile loot is a trait all good players will know. Division comes when deciding what you prioritize in taking out of a raid. But you and I, my friend, we are different indeed. All loot is for the taking. We make no distinction, only trading when something is of higher value to us. That cigarette pack a previous player left behind? Mine. The unassuming DVD drive some high-strutting PMC couldn't be bothered to lift? That's 2 more printed circuit boards for my use, I dare say. The truth is that all items in the game hold value of some sort, be it for questing or flea market, crafting or upgrading. Prioritizing this loot comes down to your personal preference and need. This will influence where you seek treasures as well. Experience will give you better ideas on what you prefer to take, and how you can optimize your take. But here's a couple of guidelines to get you started for what I prefer to take. I like to prioritize loot based on 3 criteria: function, chain, and raw. Function refers to what an item can do for me. Is it a nice stack of ammo I can use for self-defense and party time? Do I value a pack of cigarettes versus a DVD drive I can use for a craft? Do I have a task that requires anything I'm out and about looking for? These I lump under this category typically. Chain can be compared to function, but it's much more crafting focused. What items can I get to get better items that are harder to find or obtain otherwise? Do I pick up this stack of AP 9mm I can use immediately? Or do I pick up a stack of 7.62 by 39 PS to be converted into 7.62 by 39 BP? Both are valid options, but timing can play into it some. It also depends on what I have free access to versus what I have limited access. These decisions will ultimately come down to your personal preference. Raw refers to the raw sale value of an item. Typically, we go off of vendor sale prices as our baseline. So for example, we could choose between a pack of rye croutons or a CPU fan. Most of the time, you're going to choose the CPU fan because of the base sale price to therapist. However, if your main goal is to sell and flee, these prices tend to fluctuate. I recommend using a tool such as Tarkov.dev, a fantastic website that has lots of built-in tools on the site, as well as an API that's freely available for your own tools to use. We've made a few tools of our own using this API for market analysis and loot prioritization for hideout crafting. Now, my suggestion in the end is this: loot everything you find. If you find something you think is better, don't hesitate, just swap out for what you believe is going to be better. Whether you're right or you're wrong, you're still gaining, and you're gaining something you desire. Typically, when you start out, weapons and ammo are good priorities to have. Food takes a secondary, but no less important spot, as nourishment will allow you to not have to rush into a raid. Slow is steady. Then you can focus on barter goods, prioritizing items for tasks first, then hideout upgrades and crafting recipes, and finally raw sale value. This basic flow will allow you to have a good grasp of items and still allow you to learn along the way. That should about cover it. I hope you found this video helpful. We covered a fairly basic topic in order to make sure we have the foundation set for more important topics in the future videos here. Thanks for bearing with me. I know some of these more mundane topics aren't the greatest to talk about. In the next episode, we will discuss the factions and AI as they pertain to Tarkov, since they do have some nuances and interesting features to them. Knowing how to deal with the environment is just as important as dealing with players, after all. However, that wraps up the video for today. Hope you found this helpful, or at the minimum, it wasn't too painful to discuss. Don't forget, we do stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1800 Mountain Standard. We typically play Tarkov among a slew of other games. Live questions are always welcome. We have a community server as well if you're looking for battle buddies on Tarkov or just want somewhere to discuss games. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and provided feedback on the series. I'm hoping the improvements being made are better able to help you digest the content within. Hit the like, subscribe, and remember kids, it's just a game.